how does a man respond when there's money issues? For too many men, when his money is not right, he's snappy, he's short, he's rude, he shuts down. So, or some men are not open and honest about money. And when you're married, one person's financial decisions directly affect you as well. So I think the divorce issue right now is greatly contributed to the correlation between men and their money and their ego. Whereas if we were more open about it, and less egotistical about it, it would be better. I also think the other issue with divorce is too many opinions in your relationship. That is the number one thing. Let's say there's infidelity or an issue in a relationship. The number one thing that will affect whether or not someone stays or leaves is the opinion of friends and family.
That's good.
And so then you have their opinions. Then you have very toxic content creators out there with all kind of toxic advice. Now people got all these voices in their heads. No wonder why people can't stay together. People think they have a bunch of options that they don't really have. People don't appreciate each other. They're nice to everyone, but they're mean to their partner. And once again, no system, no structure.
Hey, you preaching. Good people. What's up? What's good, man? Blessed be your host, Caleb Smith. Today, we have a very special guest in the building, man. She's been killing the game, dropping so many gems on the internet for a long time now. I've had so many people contact me like, yo, you need 6 on the pod. You need 6 on the pod. So today, we're going to have a great conversation about Black love, relationships from a real expert, somebody who's actually doing it, servicing clients, servicing the people, and so much more. 6 to Goddis, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, I appreciate you pulling up and being here today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Today's conversation, it might spark debates in the comments, of course, but, I want for us to actually find, like, a real solution, opposed to us, always being Black men versus Black women, and y'all do this, we do that. But, instead, actually find something tangible that we can apply towards our lives every single day. So, starting out, 6, this first question, what does Black love look like to you?
Black love to me is a revolution because there's an entire intricate system in place to discourage it. So every Black relationship that's created is in spite of. You see what I'm saying? It's,
for sure.
It's never just free to just exist. So to me, it's perseverance. It's survival. And it's the only thing that will get us into a better position than in what we are now.
I feel that. Scrolling on social media, sometimes you see us going at each other. How do you feel about these constant fights and arguments that take place sometimes?
I think that we just really need to do a separation. It's way too many women telling men what they need to do and too many men telling women what they need to do. Each group really need to focus on themselves. I tell Black women all the time, we got too many issues. We have 100 issues to address before we address one with the man.
Right.
But it's so much easier to just point out what everybody else is doing so you don't have to make any changes. So I think what needs to happen is we need more women to go like against the status quo, against the sisterhood, and be more honest with each other about where we fall short and what we need to do. And we need more men to do the same thing, go against the status quo and speak more on how things can be improved as men. I think a lot of women, they're afraid of being called a pick me. The men are afraid of being called a simp. But at some point, it's like someone need to be the one to say, listen, we got our flaws too. We constantly pointing out other people, but where can we improve?
So what areas of improvement do you see for Black men and also Black women right now?
For Black women, first of all, we need to work on a code. For the longest, Black women have really moved by the mind your business. We do what we want. And we really justify bad behavior by as long as it make us happy. Whereas other women and other groups know how to have a code because they understand that what one does, it does affect the other. And Black women, we have way too much individualism. You're supposed to be able to be self-destructive and we're supposed to mind our business because why do you care? Well, we care because the way that you show yourself, it also affects the rest of us. Like a perfect example with Halle Bailey. We've never seen a Disney princess go get pregnant by a rapper unmarried. You see what I'm saying? And yet, And if that happened with other groups, there would be outrage. What they say, people think you like abuse if you don't let them know it bothers you. So,
Sure.
but we sit back and say she's rich, she could do what she want. Well, you're not understanding the image in totality that we're condoning that, and people think we're okay with it. So it just perpetuates the stereotype we already have of being ratchet baby mamas getting knocked up by rappers. We don't have a code. We don't know how to say. We need to collectively stick by some kind of standard. Everyone do what they want and do what make them happy.
Yeah, man. Having that code, right? How do you feel as a black woman seeing the Sexy Red on the internet, Sukiyana, things of that sort, and young girls in kindergarten singing about Booty Hole Brown and things of that? How do you feel about that?
I think it's necessary because that's a real demographic. See, we don't like that it's rearing its ugly head. We're like, no, keep that away. But the way Sexy Red is, that is a very large demographic of our women who are operating that way.
Yeah.
But we want to say we don't want to see it. No, let's look at it because this is what so many of us are actually doing in the real world. If you from the hood, girls got. I know a girl got one baby daddy that's dead in jail and one is currently selling drugs. This is a real thing.
Right.
So my thing is, no, it need to be seen. And if you don't like it, change it because that's a reality.
Yeah. Wow.
You can't keep hiding it like we're embarrassed by it. Just hide it. No, let it show.
Yeah.
Once you're ashamed of something, you can change it.
Come on. So when did you become enlightened about like what's truly going on in this dating landscape?
I wouldn't say there was a certain time I became enlightened.
Yeah.
I think that I've just witnessed multiple sides of things. I've seen relationships, I've seen a lack of, I've seen families, I've seen lack of families.
Yeah.
So I've just been able to do a great deal of like compare and contrast. And once you get into your 30s, you normally are at that place where you can realize patterns. And I think just as I've gotten older, I see the patterns.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see, I see the consistency. It's like, okay, this is why that's happening, or that's why this is happening. And I'm just an analytical person by nature, and I like observing patterns.
Yeah.
So I've just gotten to that place where I see where it's been consistent and where consistencies just have not led us to a good place.
Analytical. Are you a Virgo by chance?
I'm a Virgo.
My mom's a Virgo.
Oh, so you know the vibe.
Yeah.
Our brains are like computers.
When you said that word, I was like, yo, she gotta be a Virgo. She gotta be. Yes. So how does being a Virgo affect your love life and relationships?
It can be difficult because to my partner, it can come off as I think I know everything or you ain't always right about things. But it's like, but I've already thought about the maybe, the possibility. I've already thought about 10 different outcomes. You know what I'm saying? So for me, what I've learned to not Virgo all over the place is to, speak when spoken to. Don't offer my opinion if no one asks. Give people their own chance to speak. Let them have their own, and not to overthink to the place where I can fluster someone. Learning how to, more give and take. And when you're an observant person, sometimes you observe things about people they might not be ready to hear yet. So I've learned to just, fall back, and now I just keep my thoughts in my mind unless it's asked of me to talk.
On that point, right, this might ruffle some feathers, but Black women have this like stereotype of being too loud, talking too much, not being quote unquote submissive. What does being submissive look like, and do you think that that's an actually healthy thing in a relationship for a woman?
Yeah, I think it's submissive is definitely healthy because opposites attract. So I would think a healthy woman wants a man that can have some dominance and speak up for himself. So naturally, the opposite of that creates more attraction. So submission just benefits the women more because it creates more sexiness and more compatibility in our dealings with men. So I'm doing whatever get me the sexiest result.
Yeah. I feel that. On the men, right? On your channel, heard you break this down. I was like, yo, I can see that. A man, how he sits. What does that tell you as a woman? Yeah. Break it down for me, please.
Well, yeah, as women, we hold our power in our womb. And so let's talk about the opposite. So technically, if I was to sit down here with my legs wide open, what would that mean? That would mean like, damn, like
open access.
Yeah, it would mean like a welcome in.
Yeah.
And so if it's sacred here, women, we're taught etiquette wise, to have your legs, your knees together. Where and you want to keep that sacredness, private. But for a man, his organ is on the outside of his body. I'm not going to say it's not sacred. I will say it's very different than us. So if you see a man that's closing it in, how are you, closing everything in
How's
when
that
what you have is on the outside?
Got
and
you.
Typically when a man is not confident in himself, them legs is like mine. You know what I'm saying? They are very close together. And to me, from what I've seen consistently, it is always a connection to how he feels about himself and how strong he is in himself.
Got
so
you.
when you see them legs open, the arms open, it says confidence. It says, I got it going on.
I feel you.
It's the energy.
Got you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Divine feminine. What does that look like? Femininity.
Being happy being a woman. Keeping your eyes on your own paper is what I call it.
I feel that.
If there's no man, there's no women. We would have nothing to contrast it to. So in my opinion, femininity just it's everything that make you different from a man. And embracing your divine femininity means being happy being a woman. Not okay, fine, not here, damn, but you want to. You're happy in it. You wouldn't want it to be any other way.
Got you. I think like in the late 60s, you see the whole feminism movement take charge and they try to get black women involved. What impact do you think, or negative impact rather, did that have on the black community?
What exactly are you referring
to? The feminism movement. Do you feel like that had a bad effect on the black community, or?
I don't think it was necessarily feminism. I think it was free sex that really did us in. Because at whatever level men get free sex is where they stop.
Got you.
So feminism was never our issue. Black men have never wanted us behind them. Anytime you see us depicted with our men, we're always side by side.
True.
So we never were oppressed by our men. I'm not quite sure. That's just us always wanting to put our cape on to help white women. I think we're just conditioned. We raised their babies and neglected our own, nursed their babies, neglected ours. We're just so used to saving white women to where that's what it was. But the real issue, the subculture in feminism was the free sex, which was now we won't require marriage, but we're also not necessarily paid prostitutes. So we'll do this in between thing where we'll shack up, be promiscuous with no commitment, no covering. And that's where it really went wrong. Because then the men were able to say, now the men watch their fathers before them work hard, be married, and still get shit on, still not succeed. So they was like, but the men had to do that in order to have access to intercourse.
Facts.
So then when, feminism came through, it was like, okay, now you don't have to be married anymore. You don't have to pay anymore. You don't have to commit. Because women at one point, you either were a wife or you were a prostitute. But the concept of living with a man, unmarried, paying bills, no commitment is so new.
Yeah.
And that's where the real problem came. So now the men were like, I'm not doing what my father did and work and be married and still don't have nothing. I'm just going to go do what I want to do. And I'm still going to have access to sex. Great. We're done. We're good here.
Commitment. Why is that such a boogeyman word sometimes where, people, they can get kind of like shot away from actually committing to one another?
Because they don't want to offend their mom.
Please explain that.
Protection in a man is more than just putting his cape on like Superman. There's emotional protection. And if your dad never committed to your mom, you'll feel guilty committing to a woman because subconsciously you'll feel like I'm kind of slighting my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like if your dad never committed to your mom, then if you meet a woman and commit to her and do right by her, in a very odd way, it comes off as you tell your mom, the way you did that was not it, and I don't want that for myself. And as Black people, we're taught that unless you just yes, okay to everything your parents do, that you're disrespectful. We don't know how to get into this place to say, I love you, but I don't want to be anything like you. But we're trained that if we do something outside of what our parents did, that we're disrespectful. So commitment come from a man. Commitment doesn't come from a woman, but many men are afraid to commit because they don't want to make their mother feel bad. That's why you'll have the hating mama where you try to be with her son, and if no man treated her right, she'll subconsciously hate on you, even if it's her own son treating you right, because no one did it for her. So that's why a lot of men are afraid to give women good things because their dad didn't give that to their mom.
Wow. Okay. So parents, childhood, how can those traumas get passed down onto your children from setting those bad examples?
From the mom. You know, behavior is always passed down by the woman. And when have we ever seen a black woman necessarily come forward? Most people would rather swing from the ceiling by safety pins by their nipple than to expect an I'm sorry or I was wrong from a black mother. So if the mother never says sorry, everybody know, you try to tell your mama she did something, she cried, tell you about how she put a roof over your head, tell you about, oh, I put clothes on your back, please, like we asked to be here. Okay, so it continues because children pick up their behavior from their mom. So when mom, you can't never correct her without her crying and playing a victim, it just continues and will always continue until we can start saying, Mom, you messed up. That wasn't it. And she can say, I'm sorry, let's do things different. But that typically doesn't happen.
And Pops, right? What impact does the father have on future behavior and things of that sort of the children? If any, how do you feel about that?
I mean, typically the man brings balance and structure, but most of us didn't have a father actively. So we don't know yet how it affects us. Because before, when we had fathers, then we had, you know, civil rights and Jim Crow and slavery. We've never been free with fathers long enough to know. We don't know how it would look. I would assume better. But we don't know yet. We've never seen it.
Got you. I feel that. So, Six, what was life like growing up, you know, for you, seeing your mom or parents? What was that like for you?
I did not meet my dad until I was about 25.
Oh, wow.
My mom and my dad were the perfect example of everything wrong. Okay. My mother's mother was a traditional woman. You know, my grandfather built her a home, married her in that home, stuck by my grandfather till he died. And I think what happened with my mom is she saw the way my grandmother stuck by my grandfather, and in some way they felt like they were weak, or some people saw the things that granddaddy did to grandma and felt like, I wish my mom would have left, or they say, I'll never be weak like that. And so my mom was part of the rebellion, where even though she came from a 2-parent household, providing father, all that, she still chose to take the road of, you know, casual sex with my father. And what Francis Cress Welsing say, you play jokes with sex, the joke is on the out. No, play games with sex, the joke is on the offspring.
Hey, that's a legend.
The
right
joke
there.
was on me.
Wow.
So I grew up just my mother, and my mother had cancer from when I was very young. So from about 8 years old, I ran my household. I ran my house. So I took care of my little brother. I did the laundry, cooking, cleaning, make sure mama had her medication treatments. So I didn't have much of a childhood.
Got you. Francis Cress Welsing, I see you.
That's
when
my
did you,
girl.
Yeah, tell me more. Like, you know, when did you discover her works and things like that?
I discovered her work through my son, actually, when he had a school project on her.
Okay.
And I got familiar with her, and I realized, you know, in my opinion, she's one of the top female Black scholars of our time.
ISIS papers and so much more.
That's the queen right there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. 50-50, right? That's a big thing on social media. How do you feel about the whole 50-50 concept of a household between a man and a woman?
Everyone say they're tired of that conversation, but I don't see why. We need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand, most women who are working, if you take the time to factor in her commute costs, then when you have a job, now you got to get clothes for work. Now you got to eat lunch. No one actually packed the lunch because you working on the time. So now you're buying lunch. So most women, she going to get up for work, lose sleep, which affect your health. So now we're talking about a tax on your body as a woman. So now you don't get enough sleep, because women need sleep, like 10 hours. Yeah. So you cost yourself there. Then she going to get up, then she going to go to Starbucks or Chick-fil-A, get some breakfast. That's $15. Then she going to take all the time and gas to get to work. Then she going to go to lunch. That's $30, $40. And then she got to pay daycare. That's $1,000. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you really calculate,
start to add up, huh?
You ain't even really bringing no money into the home. Where what if you stayed home and cooked and did things more DIY and saved your family money? You're actually making your family more money. And I can't tell you how many men are spending time doing laundry, which is an easy job that doesn't require much physical labor that a woman can do. So I think a lot of men would operate better if your only job was to get up and go get the money. Not worried about stupid stuff, talking about, can you help me around the house and do the laundry? Because I feel like women that say that, your house is dirty. Because if you live by yourself, aren't you already doing all of the household chores on your own? So now the man is here. This is how you work as a team. Now the man come in. Now I ain't got to worry about bills. All I got to do is worry about, my home, cooking real food. Everyone, like, you don't need to cook. Well, that's why our health is in shambles, because you don't know what's in the food that you eat out with. Wow. So the family would be healthier if women were able to just focus on the home, and men would have more money if they were able to just go get the money, not have to worry about how many men spend hours a day figuring out, what am I going to eat? I got to pick up my dry cleaning. Oh, I ain't got no clean drawers. What if you didn't have to worry about that? And you could just get up and go. And the woman just assisted you in going. And then she don't have to worry about, oh, I got to get my check on the first of the month. Your man tap you on the shoulder talking about, let me get that half. Now you stressed out trying to, can everyone just have one job? Like we fight it so petty. Yeah. So if I'm a woman and I'm with a man talking about 50-50, I'm going to be very petty. If there's 12 dishes in the sink, I'm going to wash 6 of them. And you're going to take time out your day that you could be spending making money to come wash a dish. And you let me know how you feel about that as a man. Tell me how that work out. So now we got men worried about cooking and laundry when they should be getting some money.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But right now, those 6, you got young dudes that they just want to play 2K all day. It's a lot of girls saying, I'm not the traditional wife. I don't want to cook and clean. How do we try to mold them into actually stepping into those roles?
Let them keep failing and keep being broke. Let them hit rock bottom till they realize this is not working. Yeah. Because people are going to get more and more broke. It's not a game of direction we're going in.
No, it's not.
So people are going to get broke and be on the street. Then they'll say, okay, stop playing.
Let's
have a system in place here. So when they get broke and hit rock bottom, they'll realize. Until then, I just focus on the kids and making sure it's easier to just put them in the right direction than trying to change. Grown folks have to fail and fall before they'll change. So just wait for them to go broke and be on the street. Then they'll realize we might actually need structure and rules. Ooh.
Dang, I feel that. Being broke, do you think that a man that's currently broke or on the come up, should he be like actively dating, or should he wait and actually try to get right first before trying to go out inside of that pool?
I don't think it has anything to do with the money. I think it has everything to do with his ego. Typically, I will tell my girls not to date men who don't have their money right unless he doesn't have an ego problem to where he can handle building with a woman. Most men cannot handle that. They're embarrassed to be with a woman without their money right. So I wouldn't put that question on the women. I would put that on the man. Can a man date without money and not have his ego get in the way and be willing to allow a woman to build with him and help him? Most men will not. So that's how you have women who are in relationships with men who are not in their financial stride and have been with them for years, and he won't marry them. Because in himself, he don't want to get married or commit without his money right. Regardless of how great the woman is. I know plenty of women will ride with a man, but it's him. He's the one that's like, no, my money ain't right, so my ego is so big that I don't want to do it. So that's why I say no. Unless the man, I say no. As of now, the answer is no, because most men are still committed and in a relationship with their ego, because men are very judgmental with each other about money. So that's all a projection. So now even if the woman is totally cool with sacrificing and riding with you, the man giving her hell because he's so insecure. So I would say typically no, I wouldn't.
I feel that. During this time too, on social media, I've seen girls in their 20s waste their entire 20s not dating with proper intentions. And then in their 30s, they try to get married, and that doesn't happen. And then before you know it, they're in their 40s, they're lonely. How can young women in their prime, date with intentions properly?
They got to move faster. I honestly don't recommend women rush getting married in their 20s if they come from broken homes. I typically don't see that work out well because women, we change so much. Like, we change a lot. Even in a month span, we have different phases of the moon that we're in a month. We are one person 1 week, the next person another. So, and that's within a month. So imagine who a woman is at 20 and who she is at 30. So when a woman get married at 20, more likely than not, by 28, she'll be divorced because she becomes a whole different person. You had a man commit to a person that you didn't know who that was yet. So the only way I recommend women get married that young is if they have live-in or living in close proximity guidance from a woman that's married and knows what she's doing. Which most young Black girls do not have that.
Yeah.
So, but taking 2 20-year-olds, I'm like, here, get married. Black, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's abuse. Yeah, that's abuse. And that's definitely going to be divorce. So we don't have enough help to be getting married that young.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we need to be waiting until we're older. Yeah. Where your brain is fully developed and you get it.
Got you. So what would you say is like the ideal age to get married right now?
I would say between 28 and 33.
Yeah. I agree with that. Children too. What do you think is like that perfect
I think
time?
The same thing. Same thing.
Got you. And you know, as well, divorces. I'm seeing that a lot with younger couples, older couples. Why do you think our divorce rate in America right now is so high?
Once again, men are egotistical about money. See, they'll say divorce happens because of money, as though it's the lack of money or how much money. Yeah. But it's not that. It's that how does a man respond when there's money issues? For too many men, when his money is not right, he's snappy, he's short, he's rude, he shuts down. So, or some men are not open and honest about money. And when you're married, one person's financial decisions directly affect you as well. So I think the divorce issue right now is greatly contributed to the correlation between men and their money and their ego. Whereas if we were more open about it and less egotistical about it, it would be better. I also think the other issue with divorce is too many opinions in your relationship. That is the number one thing. Like, let's say there's infidelity or an issue in a relationship. The number one thing that will affect whether or not someone stays or leaves is the opinion of friends and family.
That's good.
And so then you have their opinions. Then you have very toxic content creators out there with all kind of toxic advice. Now people got all these voices in their heads. No wonder why people can't stay together. People think they have a bunch of options that they don't really have. People don't appreciate each other. They're nice to everyone, but they're mean to their partner. And once again, no system, no structure.
Hey, you preaching. Friend groups, right? To your point, girlfriends, they could be like, oh, leave him. There's so many other men out there. Guys, they'll be like, yo, man, you ain't got to worry about her. Like, you can find this girl, that girl. How can we start to block out those friend groups sometimes?
See, there's still this concept of girls being a girl's girl. And I think women need to stop doing that. Okay? We have to understand a lot of women have a lot of issues. You don't need to have this all women, we're all in this together mindset. We need to do better with vetting each woman individually and denying access. Like, I've had girls I cut off. If I see you're not progressing, if I see you're regurgitating stupid talking points, if I see you, I call them stills. You just still. 10 years ago to now, you still. Wow. I cut them off because women, we're more easily influenced. So the biggest protection that we have is just not even allowing certain voices around us because it will affect you.
For sure.
So we got to be more picky about who we listen to.
Feel that. Our content and media, how does that impact the Black mind when it comes to our love lives?
In every way, but right. You know, we don't. Black people can never compare. The thing that killed me the most is when I see other races speaking on us. Nothing pissed me off more than that. I don't want to see no Hispanic woman, white woman, Asian woman speak on Black women ever. Okay, if y'all would have had y'all men taken away from you the way we did, you would have died. Okay, so we don't want to. I can't stand when women of other races try to counsel us. So I would say the first thing: stop listening to people of other races because they're going to oversimplify, and we have got to take into account in our relationships the effects of white supremacy and how it affects us. We always want to just remove that from our conversations and our media, like. They're not holding you back. It's been a long time. No, we're really the first free generation. It has not been enough time.
Yeah.
And we need to always include white supremacy and its effects on our relationships. If you take that element out, it's going to make you hate each other because you'll be holding yourself to a standard that other people have where they've been able to just exist.
Yeah.
No one has a weight on their back trying to hold them back.
For sure.
So we don't have enough grace with each other about how we got to where we are.
Come on. White supremacy then. Hey, let's talk about it. How has that affected the whole black family dynamic as a whole?
Start out with money. Our men are hundreds of years behind. Yeah. That's enough right there. You know, of course, the men of other races, they wouldn't get married at 25 because he don't got a life insurance policy when his grandfather passed away. You know, I got a girl, she do mortgages. Mortgage people be like, can't your grandparents just gift you the down payment?
Wow.
No, Sally. Our grandparents got their money taken out their account. Money just disappeared. No, we cannot do that. Yeah. So, of course, you know, again, commitment is organized by men. How can the men commit and they can't even be committed to their own wallet? You know, they're behind. The man is in survival mode trying to catch up to the men around him, and you over here in his ear talking about a relationship. Yeah. He fighting for his life. Yeah. So white supremacy, the best way it affected us in our relationship is putting our men behind economically hundreds of years. Now, relationships can't never be in the forefront of a man's mind that's struggling like that.
That's good. Mental health too, right? If I'm always scrolling on social media, and you know, a young man, if he sees so-and-so, he got a new Bugatti, but I got this, or he got that type of girl, and I don't, how does that affect a young black man's mind and his confidence and ego? Because
it will. It will. And that's why now they saying they are short on men that are doing contracting work, blue collar work. Yep. Because right now in Atlanta, if you want to buy a decent home, you're looking at $500,000 for the basic white picket fence, 4-bedroom house. Sure. So when you make the most basic stuff that normally make a man proud to be a man, like home ownership, and you put that so far ahead, even for men that do work hard and make money, when you put that so far ahead and the basics are not attainable, what do they have to work towards now? Right. Now that guys are like, screw it. I will just sit and play Grand Theft Auto and sit down because even if I do work, I still can't even buy a house. Still can't even buy a car.
Yeah. Man, that's good.
So it just makes them not try.
Yeah. Our women too, right? You know, everybody's scrolling trying to be this doll, that doll, Kim K, the fake bodies, fake everything, fake minds too. How can our young women not fall victim to like all of the surgeries and things like that as well?
I honestly, and I tell my girls this, I don't recommend women scroll social media.
Wow.
Post and get off. Yeah. Once again, we are influential by nature. We are easily influenced by nature. Don't even look. If I had a daughter, she couldn't be on Instagram. Because it's going to make you borderline suicidal. I had women say, well, you know, I don't really have a big butt. Okay, no one. Not one person. Well, I don't really have that much butt. I'm sorry. Where did this rule book go that you got to have butt? Why? Because you're seeing it all over social media. So now in your mind, there's something wrong with me because I don't got butt. When it's like where that standard came from. Because your mind too easily influenced. Now, black girl got to have butt or else you got to apologize for it. Well, I don't really have. Okay. So I think they should just not look at all. Yeah. There's no way for them to look and not compare themselves. It take a woman at a certain level. Normally when she get older, as you get older as a black woman, you get more and more, I said what I said, and you stand on business more. Yeah. But if you're under 30, I would never be scrolling social media. I wouldn't even do it. It's going to affect you. There's no way around it. Wow. Just stay off of it. Post, you got to post and get up out of there.
It's real talk. On social too, everybody has a voice now. How can we dodge those bad content creators who's talking about relationships and giving out bad advice?
Look at their life. Look at them. I can look at someone like this and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to know. You got to say, you don't look like where I want to be. Wow. So they'll see somebody, you know, looking terrible, life in shambles, lying, capping on the internet, but over there listening to them. Why? They're miserable. You know, you got to hear what people are not saying. Yeah. You know, do you look miserable and dusty and just, I don't want to look like that. Therefore, I'm going to keep it moving. Yeah. People have to trust their intuition more. When you see this person, what about this person is valuable? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What have you learned? What have you picked up? Yeah. What do you feel when you hear them talk? Do they make you feel discontent? Do they make you feel unhappy with where you're at? Pay attention to that. Or do you feel like you learned something? Do you feel like it opened new thoughts for you? But people will sit and keep listening to stuff that don't make them feel good, or from people that are miserable. I don't get that. Like, pick up on what they're not saying, their energy.
Facts. So, Six, what inspired you, to say, yo, I'm going to pick up a camera, I'm going to start, like, giving y'all some game? What inspired you to actually start posting?
Because I found myself, if I complain about something,
I gotta fix
maybe
it.
I need to do it.
For
so
sure.
I would see certain female content creators, and they're like, yes, I came from 5 generations of 2-parent homes in the suburbs with a silver spoon. And I'm like, I love that for you, but not me. Who won't? Or you'll see a woman where she teaching, but I don't like how you look. Like, you don't look fly. I don't want to, you're not cool to me. I don't like that, So I was like, we need like an in-between. I call myself like Sophista Ratchet, where it's a girl that, come from poverty, don't come from the best place. Teach me that. Teach me how to go from where most of us came from, with no fathers, stressed out single mothers, broke, no guidance. Teach me how to go from that to whole and content and happy and healthy. And I was like, there ain't nobody doing that. And ain't no one I relate to. And then it was like, well, I'll do it. And that's how it was. But they say be what you would have needed at one point. So I wish I would have had a big sister like myself, when I was coming up. So I just decided to be that for other people. I felt like for the longest that since my background was so rough that it disqualified me to teach. And it wasn't until I tried to ignore it. And if you've ever ignored an assignment from God, oh my God, it's almost torture. So I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do this because who am I? My background is too rough. And then God was like, no, that is the reason why you need to teach.
Hey, that's your superpower.
You're living proof. It's not nothing you regurgitated, nothing you heard. You did it. That's the best teacher, and you did it. I did it on my own. So it gave me a different level of perspective and understanding things. And the reason why I thought I couldn't do this ended up to be the reason why I was made to do it. And it just worked out.
That's a bar. So, assignments, right, from God. How do you know and can tell as a woman when a man is walking in his actual purpose in life? How can you see that? How do you know that?
He doesn't battle within himself in loving you. He'll openly love you. Whenever a man, it's natural for a man to want to love a woman. Men are designed to make our lives easier. You're designed to protect us. We can bring forth children, nurture our communities. You're designed to make that easier for us and keep us safe to do that. So whenever a man hesitates on protecting, providing for a woman, loving for a woman, he not ready yet. He's battling in himself. He needs to be openly, welcoming of, being your lover, being your friend, and pouring into you. That's what he's supposed to do.
For sure. A woman, her walking in that divine purpose, what does that look like in a relationship? Service, okay.
Women who are willing to serve and sacrifice. If you're selfish, you ain't ready yet. Women cannot be selfish. Cannot.
Wow. Being selfish as a woman, what does that look like? Is it trying to get all the shoes, going on the trips? What does that look like, being selfish as a young woman?
No, that's more so materialism. Selfishness in women affects people around them spiritually and emotionally. Okay, that is what selfishness looks like for us. So when a woman is selfish, basically she acts in a way that's inconsiderate. Smart women know that the better you nurture and take care of your environment, the better it take care of you. So whenever you see a woman feel like, well, what am I getting in return? When she's not willing to openly serve, openly nurture, regardless of what she get back, that's equals destruction. Because as a woman, what you sacrifice for and what you serve doesn't always give you an immediate gratification. So a woman really transcends and really turns into a woman where she's not concerned up front with, I'm giving you this, what am I getting? No, women know how. She's confident where I know my nurturing and my influence is always going to reap a positive result. I don't have to clock, well, I did this, so I need, you don't got to do that. So when a woman openly serves and take care of the people around her and build relationships, that's when she's healthy. That's when she's ready.
our black boys, how do we properly raise young men? You know, on your page, you know, seeing you say something, and it was true about, hey, as a mother, I'm not raising my son. Instead, this is somebody's future husband, leader. How do we properly raise young leaders right now during this time?
Well, first of all, I tell women all the time, give them kids to their dad. Let's go ahead and do the cliche. Raise the kids in 2-parent households and get married first. All right, now we got that out of the way, but we're not going to do that in majority.
Right.
It will still be majority of black children born out of wedlock. So let's take the next step. The next step is, if you are going to have children out of wedlock, boys need to live with their dad primarily. We don't need to have boys in the house with us primarily. I don't know where this weird thing come from, where as a woman, if your kids are with their father, you're a bad mom. That's their dad. Give the kids to their dad, period. If you break up, kids go with dad. Okay, outside of that, boys simply just need to be around men more. My son was in a mentorship program last year, and I was looking at the curriculum, and it was everything. It was how to tie a tie. Yeah. It was how to change a tire. It was everything but husbandry.
Oh, wow. It was missing that.
I was like, why don't y'all teach husbandry?
Facts.
You know, why don't we have any, conversation with boys about how to prepare for a wife, how to be a husband, the leadership skills it take to take care of a wife. We just don't. So I would say start implementing some kind of curriculum as men for your sons to teach leadership and husbandry, and boys be around the men majority of the time. Stop keeping them around women all the time. Too many black boys around women all day, every day. It's not healthy.
So being around the moms and the aunties all day, every day, what type of negative impact would that have on the young son?
He moved like a woman. He compares himself. He see a bunch of women around him all the time, just doting on him, just coddling him, doting on him, doing everything for him. Now he grow up, and the thought of him taking care of a woman is like, you supposed to take care of me. Like my mama and my auntie and all them did. What you mean? Those are the men are like, well, what about the woman? Those are the men that was raised with a bunch of women. What do you mean, what about the women? You seen too much about what the women are doing. Now you super pressed to see women doing something for you. That's going to come on its own. Yeah. So if a boy is around women all the time, he's going to pick up her tendencies. He's going to process things the way that she do. He's going to think of things the way that she does. It's almost impossible to have a boy around women all the time and he not pick up on their tendencies. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Environment. Husbandry, what does that look like? 6, like proper husbandry and training.
It looks like structure. It looks like being able to lead a family into a direction. It looks like foresight, discernment. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what a husband is. A husband keeps things organized and safe.
Yeah. Young black women, who should they be looking up to and studying right now? Because there's so many negative influences out there. Who should they be studying?
I love Simone Biles.
Okay.
She's my favorite.
Okay.
They should be looking at women who have relationships with black men successfully.
Yeah.
They should be looking at women who are not afraid to go against what everyone else is doing. And they should look at black women who are humble.
Got you. Interracial marriage right now is something that I constantly see on the commercials, TVs and shows. I see your face right now. What are your thoughts on interracial marriage?
But have you noticed how the tables have turned with that? It used to be them showing brothers with white women all the time.
Yeah.
Now
it's the white husband.
You see the weirdest things. Yeah. You see they show sisters with Indian men. Now when you ever seen a sister with an Indian man? Never. You never see that. But now I see several commercials and she with an Indian man. Please, this doesn't even happen in real life. But the other men, they've gotten smart. They realize, the whole time we've been trying to get the brothers with the white women, but they're learning, like we said before, the behaviors and everything are set by the woman. So they're like, dang, so we sent all these black men in to get with these white women, then all they did was make them single moms and leave. Mission failed. Wow. But if we take our men and put their women in with him, okay. Because black women, you remotely mention them, okay, doing anything to please a black man, and it is hell to pay. But with a white man, Yes, massa. Whatever you need. And I'm like, and so white men are like, oh, okay. Yeah. So now that we've made their men look super weak, now we can get in there. They're going to treat us the way that they should have treated their men, and they're going to empower us. A lot of white men now are realizing how weak their own women are. Yeah. So they're like, okay, so now we can get the black woman. Now we can survive in a few generations because our kids will have some melanin to be able to survive this environment. Yep. Yet I'm still the man. So the kids still carry on my name, my legacy, my mindset. Genius. We try to infiltrate through the men. Through the women is how we infiltrate and make them weak.
A white mind and a black body.
Man, we seen it. We see it too much. Yes. So that's what it is. They realize we would focus on the black man. That was the wrong way. The women. Now they force them to be all kind of weird. I've been seeing the weirdest stuff. I'm like, come on. Sure. This don't even look right. For sure. You know? Yeah. So yeah, it's all a way to, it's a Trojan horse. That's all it is.
Hey, you cooking right now. So look, Travis Kelce, right? On that same point. Seeing him, he was dating all black girls. He would score touchdowns, hitting the quan, he dancing. Now, he with Taylor Swift.
The whitest girl ever.
Wearing redneck t-shirts. Man. Cut off sleeve. Like, he switched from white boy, black boy to straight white boy, right? How do you feel seeing like that switch? Because on Twitter now, all the black women are heartbroken, mad about it. But my mind, I'm like, he's a typical white man. So how do you feel about that entire situation?
Good at what they get. I was so happy seeing all them with their heart broke. Good. Yeah. Because the way that I see black women pedestalize white men make me nauseous. And then it's like, well, white men treat us better. You treat white men better. Imagine if you treated your own man the way you fawn over them. White man be so mediocre.
Imitating the black man at that.
Yeah, they'll do the most basic stuff. Yeah. Oh, he bought her 2 roses. And they're like, that's so cute. I want that one day. And I'm like, well, now, what if we affirmed our own man like that? What if when our own man did something for us, you know, we gave him that same level of, you know, gratitude. Yeah. Imagine how much farther we'll get.
For sure.
But a white man breathe and you're like, oh, look how he took a breath. And it make me sick. It make me cringe. It's like, ill. Yeah. Now you over here just worshiping this man like he already wants you to. That's a colonizer. Wow. Now he colonizer your womb. Now you just got a defeated, colonized body. Over here like this, just your eyes just big and bright, you know, because of his skin tone. So Travis humbled them. And showed them, yeah, they'll sleep with you and all that, but you see how when it's time for them to be in a real relationship and settle down, because I wouldn't be surprised if he married her. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he will.
And she just moved in too. That's what they said. She
just moved to the crib. So it begins.
About to be a billionaire as well. Yeah.
Treat your own man as good as you treat them white men. Stop fawning over them like that. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah, man. All the fellas, I'm sorry too, but in sports, right, especially in football, I don't know what it is. Like, you'll see young black men play for a school like Ole Miss, middle of Mississippi, right? They'll be the Fighting Rebels, but it's a black man fighting for a Confederate mascot. Or Alabama, you in Tuscaloosa, Georgia, you in Athens, and it's predominantly white fans, all black players, white coach, and then they always end up with a white girl too. Why do you think our young athletes fall for the young white girl every single time in sports?
Because they've been taught to go where the sex is most easily accessed. That
is true.
And white women are naturally whores. So they going wherever the sex easiest to get, that's where they're going, and they've been taught that's where it's better to be. So since most women of other races are taught to lead with their sexuality, that's why they're like, I'm not going with the black. I gotta actually talk to her, get to know her, have a plan. I'm going with the white. I'm going where the sex come fastest. And they've been taught to equate that wherever the sex come fastest is where you're appreciated more.
Wow. So to that young black football player, what words of advice would you have for him when he's being pulled in that direction?
See, the other problem is this. A lot of the football player guys, they do come from single moms that because some people will say, well, why don't you want a black girl? Your mom is black. And sometimes that's the exact problem. Okay, is he grew up with a poor black mom. She spanked him, talked to him crazy, emasculated him. So he doesn't want any woman that remind him of that. So when we talk about the black athletes, so many of them do come from that kind of background, with the stressed out single mom. Now he done made a few dollars. Now the first thing mom want him to do, buy her a house, take care of her, which I hate to see that. Let that man keep his money for himself. You raised him to be, the minute he make it, here go to mama, buy me this, buy me a car, buy me this. House. So now he associates black women with a leech energy. He associates black women with emasculation, physical, corporal punishment. So yeah, he don't want no one that remind him of that. He doesn't see love when he see a black woman. He see emasculation. He see trauma. He see brokenness. So he wants a woman that is the total opposite. Don't even remind him nothing of that. So I'm careful before I, condone these young boys. Most of them, they just looking for love. They just haven't been conditioned to look at a black woman's face as love. So I don't think that we fix that by further judging them and coming down on them. That's why whenever I see your brother with a white girl, I do. I smile. I smile and say, how you doing, my brother? I always ignore the woman completely. Now, a sister, I never do that.
Yeah.
But when I see a black man with a white woman, I purposely look him dead in his eyes, smile, how you doing, my brother? And I say my brother to make sure I'm acknowledging we're both black.
Right.
And you know what they always do?
What?
Shamed. They can't even look me in my eyes. Because she don't told that white girl, yeah, black girl's me. And I'm with you because black girl never liked me.
And then you just broke that stereotype in that moment.
So I make sure I'm pleasant, looking good. How you doing? Now the white girl, she crumbling. Yeah, he lied to you, sweetie. He hyping you up to continue to get things easier from you. But brothers feel ashamed. When they see an attractive black woman smile, then be nice, and they with a white girl, they hang their head. So they know they wrong deep down inside. Because why you can't look me in my eye?
It's that conscious.
Boy, they know.
Come on.
They
I
know.
feel that. Man, our athletes again, right? Entertainers too. I'll see them marry these white women outside of the race, and then 5 years later, out of the league, get divorced. She takes half. Tiger Woods, same thing, right? How do you feel seeing that? Because now black wealth just transferred into white wealth. So how do you feel, seeing those instances from time to time?
I feel like, how do we not understand this yet?
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think this has been going on too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't see these women. Women decide where most of the money is going to get spent. Okay? I'm the woman in my household. I go out my way to make sure I support a black business. I ain't never heard a suburban white woman be like, we need to support. Let me go out my way to look up a black business.
Nah.
They don't do that. They're going to spend money with their own.
Facts.
So
Facts.
What I would say about the black men, the athletes that marry the white girls and then get their money taken is, how many times it's got to happen before you see that that's not it. But that's what happens when we think that marriage is all about love. And we just say, can't help who you love. And we don't get that there's so much more to it than just that. So it's that, as long as the men keep saying, well, that's who I love, then the money will keep getting squandered, I guess, until we understand it's not about love.
Hey, Six, so look, let's talk about that. Marriage is not about love, right? So what is marriage truly about?
Marriage is about life, systems, and structure.
Back to systems and structure, right?
It's what it comes down to.
Yep.
People want to lead with the love first and then can't figure out why they can't have a structure and a system that work for them. When you're with someone where you have common goals, morals, structure, and planning, you're going to love each other. It doesn't matter. We do it so we start with the love, and then everything else falls apart. I can't tell you how many married couples, when the vaccine situation came up, they breaking up over their child getting the shot or not.
That's crazy.
So you got married and didn't even have a conversation about what y'all thought about vaccines. Because y'all loved each other, right? Whereas when you focus on being on the same page about the things that matter first, the love is a natural result of. So where we're going wrong is we have love be the cause of the marriage instead of the result of the marriage. And that's why we're breaking up and fighting over the stupidest things that you should have talked about when you were dating.
Pastor Six the Goddis today, man. Preach it on a Sunday.
Collection plate.
Come on. I'm feeling it. So about marriage and love, having fun too, right? On your channel, hearing you, I'm like, yo, she's dropping bars. Sometimes we'll see young men and they'll say, yo, I'm in my 20s. I just want to have fun instead of trying to build up wealth, foundations, things of that sort. Is life about having quote unquote fun?
No. Only when you're a kid. When you're a child, yes.
Yeah.
Children need to have fun to learn.
Yeah.
But once you're an adult, taking care of your business should be fun to you. If my business is not handled, I'm not having fun, and no matter what I'm doing. I'm only having fun in life when my business is taken care of.
Yeah.
When my business is handled, then I can have. But when you're leading as a grown adult with everything about fun, that's very strange and immature to me.
Yeah.
Grow up. That's what I say to that. Grow up.
Come on.
How old are you?
Yeah.
You know, that's why your job as an adult is to empower children to have fun and enjoy their childhood. You got to pay it forward.
That's right.
You got to go to that next level.
Yeah.
Not be 35 talking about fun and love. Stop.
For sure.
You know.
When should principles, values, finances, all of those things be brought to the table when a man meets a woman? When should those things finally be started
be
to talk about?
discussed?
Yeah, and discussed.
Well, I think right away.
Yeah.
I think present day people need to stop dating in person so
Yeah.
much. And, you know, I tell my girls this, like, talk on the phone a lot before you meet in person.
That's good.
Because we don't even need to meet in person, because in Atlanta, you know how it is. You go out to eat, you spending at least $100, $150. If you order drinks, an appetizer, an entree, $150 easily on the low end.
Yeah.
Men cannot afford to keep dating. They can't afford it. A man can easily spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month dating.
Yeah.
So all for you to go on one date and have her, if you're not religious, talk about Jesus the whole time, and you already know this ain't gonna work. You could have did that over the phone.
Right.
So I think that what people need to do more now in 2023 is talk on the phone for a long time. I'm talking about the same way you would on the date. You're gonna sit on the date and sit there and talk for 2 hours.
We got that same
Do it on the
conversation.
phone instead.
Facts.
And have those conversations. Not do you want to get married? Are you prepared to get married? Because women be dating, asking a man, "What do you want to get married?" He like, yeah. He ain't telling you it's in 15 years from then.
Right.
Are you may want to? Are you prepared? Need to have conversations about children. How many? Genetic issues. Do you have the sickle cell gene? You see what I'm saying? Little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Figure that out now, because if we're not on the same page about religion, healthcare, goals, I'm not putting on my perfume and baby oil on my legs and my good push-up bra to come sit with you for something I could have talked about on the phone and we could have known from then this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So if people are serious about finding a spouse, stop meeting up in person. Then you're gonna end up sleeping together.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna end up wasting time and money.
Yeah.
Now you think you like him, but it's just the penis good. No, talk on the phone and figure out what your non-negotiables are and discuss that up front. Any man that don't want to do that means he not looking for a wife. Because if he is, he don't want to be wasting no money dating either. I want to get this out the way on the phone before I spend my money and show up with you.
Yeah.
So I think people who are serious about getting married, get on the phone and actually talk to each other.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, you know, to your point, dating, it can be real expensive. Back in the day, you know, our parents, dating was way more simpler, actually courting, things of that sort. Do you feel like right now is like the craziest time to actually try to like put yourself out there and date someone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dating is so ghetto.
Yeah.
It's very ghetto, and people are not succeeding. Most people cannot get past the talking stage. You know, they're just stuck in the talking stage.
Yeah.
People don't, you know, because they're seeing so many people and so many perceived options. I think women are way more sexually aggressive than men are now.
How
men,
so, Six?
Yeah, like men, it's dangerous when women proactively are offering sex to men. That ruins everything.
Yeah.
You know, so now you got women willing to proactively offer it and go the distance.
Yeah.
So women who are wanting marriage and commitment, it's really hard to get that when in the man's eyes, why should I?
Yeah.
Because it's 10 other girls that are willing to do whatever I want tonight.
Yeah.
And that's hard to compete with when it comes to men. So men even know you can't give men a bunch of options. Men have to be told, listen, this is what you have to do as a man. This is your path. But now men have a bunch of different options. You can be married, you cannot, you cannot. And now that they've had the options, most of them are just, again, choosing the easiest sexual route.
I feel that. On your page too, you know, I'm scrolling, checking everything out. Keke Palmer, I was like, oh, she going in, she preaching. Seeing that on social media, I felt a way too, because I'm like, ladies, I feel y'all, but in that same breath, like, that's somebody's mom, somebody's partner. And of course, you know, you can go out, have fun, but I'm like, if the tables were turned he will have hell to pay. So how did you feel about the whole situation?
Keke Palmer is the perfect example of a woman who is of age, technically, but is still a child in their mind. And women who are very childlike in their mind, they don't know how to regulate their desire for adoration and attention. So they misbehave for attention still like a child. And Keke Palmer is an example of a woman who had plenty access and opportunity for healthy men, men who are not abusive, men who have something to lose. But women like her will purposely go for unhealthy men because women who have a good man and are stable don't get any attention. Like once people know, oh, your man, he good, he's taking care of you, they don't call you and check on you. You know what I'm saying? People don't give attention to women who are well off. Women who are well off and taken care of are damn near invisible. So women like Keke is an example of a woman where being healthy and, being well off doesn't grant her attention. Instead, when the girl that got the man who always abused her or always cheat, you get to call your home, oh girl, he cheated again. Everyone, oh, I feel so bad for you. How could he do that? Talking to you all night about it, wiping your tears. Oh, he hit me again. Here come everybody coming to your rescue. Oh my God. And my issue with Keke is when she met that man, he was already abusing another woman. And what disgusts me the most about how women move nowadays is they'll sit there, see the way a man do another woman, and be so arrogant or think that her vagina is so good that what he did with her, he did that because that was her. And wait till he gets some of me. He ain't gonna do me like that. So I don't feel bad for Keke. That man, when you got with him, had a woman at home pregnant. It is abusive to have a woman trust you to get pregnant with you. When a woman pregnant, we pregnant. It is not no, I'm at home pregnant and you at the club trying to holler at girls like you single. No, we pregnant. Together. You should be at home rubbing cocoa butter on my belly. It's abusive for a woman to trust a man to allow him to impregnate her, and then while her belly big at home, he out trying to holler. That's abuse. Yeah. So you got with him when he had a woman at home pregnant, made him tell her to get rid of that and come be with you. And now we're supposed to feel bad for you because you watched another woman be abused and thought that you were so amazing it wouldn't happen to you. But it's the outcome you wanted because look at all the attention it's getting you. And now she's trying to make herself the face of brave domestic violence survivors. Please.
You ain't trying to hear that.
Women do crazy things for attention. Yeah. And women who are childish will destroy themselves for attention. And that's Keke for me.
Okay, so it's been times where guys have been falsely accused of sexual assault, the R word, of course. What negative impact has that had on young black men, lives being destroyed and things of that sort?
I don't think it have had any impact. They're still doing the same thing. Yeah. I'll be out with my son somewhere and a grown black man like, how you doing, son? You got a girlfriend yet? Why is the first thing you're saying to a 15-year-old, the first thing, you got a girlfriend? Why haven't you asked him if he's figured out his career path, his education path? Why haven't you asked him about his leadership skills yet? Why is it the first thing you do is ask him about a girl? So I don't think it's changed at all because boys, they still sleeping with whoever will let them. Yeah. I tell my son now, if and when it's your time where you ready to go there, I need to meet this girl parents. We need to have an understanding that this is a consensual relationship. Yeah. But we still got grown men encouraging boys to go around their parents' back and go sow their royal oats. Yeah. So I don't think it had any effect because why are grown black men not discouraging young black boys from sleeping with every woman that will let them? They tell them that's how you're designed. You're not meant to be with one woman. That's what they're telling them. So it hasn't changed anything. Yeah. Men still like, it couldn't be me. If I was a man, women have to damn near sign off on this. Yeah. I'm not doing that. Yeah. But it hasn't been no different. Men still moving the same way, trying to sleep with as many women as they can in the easiest way they can. So no impact.
I got you. Growing up, I've seen guys who were labeled as square, things of that sort, not get all the girls. But then later on in life, that same IT guy is getting married, beautiful wife. Why do you think it's so hard for guys who were, younger with labeled as being a nerd and being a square, not being able to find a partner during that time in those like younger years, like in the early 20s and things like that?
I think because women are in their masculine energy.
Yeah.
And so when women are in their masculine energy, they choose a partner based off of how he looks. So once again, men are always going to do whatever women require to get access to sex.
Yeah.
So the more women sleep with the man just based off the fact that he's cute or got swag, the less they're going to want to go in that opposite direction. So it's all about the women. It all come back to us as women.
Yeah.
The more that we let men have access to sex with us based upon whether he's cute, men, of course, amongst each other will shy away from the nerdy, lame archetype because that equals less sex in their mind. So if women start actually doing the right thing, which is being attracted to a man based upon how he treats you and whether or not he really likes you and guides you and shows up for you, that's when we'll stop the fight amongst men of, and you're square and you're lame, and we'll stop that. But as long as women are attracted to a man based off whether he's cute, that's how it's going to continue to be.
For sure. Halle Bailey, you spoke about her earlier. You're making the face again. A Disney star, being with DDG, influencer, rapper. What do you think attracts younger women sometimes to more opposite vibes sometimes?
No code, no shame. Okay? Being a single mom is for poor women only. It's for poor women from broken households that have no father and no family support, where your grown boyfriend can pull up to high school and come pick you up because your daddy ain't there to go upside his head. That's what a baby mama is for. So when you have women like Halle Bailey raised in a 2-parent household with money, and she go and become a baby mama, that is called rebellion. That is allowed because we have no system. And some people say, why you worship these celebrities? Why you care about what they do? Because she's a Disney princess. The reason why the white woman was mad that a black woman was going to be Ariel is because they didn't want it to ruin their daughter's self-esteem of seeing their image as a Disney princess. And this make me cringe to say, but they also could not trust the Disney image in the hands of a black woman. And what does Haley do? Perpetuate the exact stereotype that of why the white women didn't want your ass in there in the first place. We can't have a black girl be the princess because she gonna go get knocked up by a rapper. Ha ha ha, like a joke. And then she actually did it. And then black women didn't even say, we need to publicly go against this and shame this. Instead, we said, why you care? Mind your business. You're a Disney princess. You 100% have a responsibility in representation for the girls that are watching this film. Okay? Same with Keke Palmer. Okay? So how on earth the first black woman they let in to be a Disney princess get knocked up by a rapper? And why did she do it? Because she can. No rules, no shame. Everyone just says she cute with him. Mind your business. So she can do it. The simple answer is because she can. There's no consequence to her not doing it. Yeah. At least it won't be in our community. I can see the white folks pulling some endorsements from her or taking some stuff from her. It's going to take white women to get Haley up out of there because they're going to say, we're not letting our daughters have no pregnant by a rapper, baby mama, Disney title. Yeah. But black women will tell her, mind your business. Why you care? And now your daughter watching Halle Berry like, I'm going to grow up and get pregnant by a struggling YouTube rapper too.
It's the representation that matters. Yeah.
It is a responsibility. That's something that was never taught to me or most women in my age group, the concept of representation and how it's a responsibility. Yeah. So now black women can be a Disney princess and get pregnant by a rapper. Trying to hide it like we don't see that big old belly.
Dang.
It's sad.
6, man. You bodied this. A few more questions for you, too. I appreciate you, again, for your time. So, Halle spoke about that. Black women, what do you think makes black women so sacred and so special? What do you think?
Well, as a woman, we're born with everything we're going to have. You know, as men, y'all sperm regenerate million by the millions. But as a woman, the eggs we're born with are the eggs that we keep. They don't regenerate. We don't get new ones. Yeah. Okay? Our genetics are embedded in everybody walking this planet right now. Okay, when I say black women are the mother of the earth, I mean that quite literally.
Yeah.
Quite literally, we're birthed in the Nile. Okay, and which is why there's a specific attack on us, because when you are mother, you want to kill the hive, get the queen bee.
Take her out.
So, black women, I think that we're not taught why we're sacred. I don't think that we're taught that we're the original woman. We're not taught about the sacredness in our body. And I think they keep it that way on purpose, because a woman who if a woman doesn't know who she is, whoever is around her can tell her who she is. And so they purposely make sure that we don't know who we really are, because then they can make us be whoever they say.
That's a fact. Our black men, how can we start building up our own self-esteem as well?
By, first of all, stop laying down with broken women. Because you're going inside of a portal. A black woman's womb is the space in between the universe and nothingness.
Yeah.
And it conceptualizes into a human. So this is an in-between portal here. Yeah. So I've seen brothers that might be doing well for themselves, might be going in a good direction, but he just can't stop staying up out of broken women. And every time you go inside a woman that's broken, you break a little bit more. So I would say abstinence. If a man want to do better, the first thing is abstain. You cannot sleep with a woman unless she's sleeping with you to heal you and to nurture you. Okay, which is not the case. A lot of time it's transactional, it's demonic. Yeah. So the first thing is stop going inside of portals that are leading you to hell. And number 2, have a plan and have focus, and don't care so much about what people think. Yeah. Okay, I think black men too many times listening too much to what other people think. A man got to hear his own voice, have his own plan, and stick to that.
For sure.
Okay, black men be too worried about what they homeboy. Stop all that. Yeah. Have your own vision. Be sovereign as a man. Stop worried about what people gonna like. Stop that. Yeah. Stand on your business. Say it with your chest and stick to that, no matter what.
Facts. 6. I see that ring on your finger. Love that. Yes. Wow. A few more questions for you. Healing. How do we properly heal as both men and women?
Look in the mirror. Look deep at yourself in the mirror and repeat after me. I ain't shit. I'm sorry to cuss.
No, you good.
I don't know a nicer way to say that.
You good.
Everybody need to realize that you ain't shit. Everyone swear they a vibe. Everyone talk about what they deserve. But then when you say, why? Why you deserve? Exactly. You don't. You don't deserve anything. Wow. You deserve what you earn. Wow. So I think that the minute we get out of our entitlement, the minute that we get to this place where we stop, talking about, you don't got to talk about what you deserve. What you deserve, when you really deserve it, will come to you. So the first step is everyone needs to just tear themselves down, because in my opinion, all black people have trauma. Even the ones that think they don't, they do. And sometimes the ones that think they don't got it worse than the ones that where it's more obvious. So I think if more people were willing to tear themselves down and rebuild, that's where it starts. Healing, when you're still trying to protect certain elements of yourself, you're not healing. Healing means gut yourself, gut it completely. You have a house renovation, they'll come and tell you if it can be renovated or if you have to gut the place. Black people have been through so much. We don't even really need to ask. Yeah, you need to just gut the place out and rebuild it. But most people don't. They're trying to hold on to different parts of themselves, and that's why the healing can't happen. You got to let it go and start fresh.
For sure. I know that, as a black man, it's hard trying to be like vulnerable and stuff all the time. How can black men accept that when it comes to being with a soulmate, a partner? Because, some men are afraid, like, if they break up, she'll use things that you said against you. Like just, things of that sort. But how do you just be like way more just vulnerable as a black man in a relationship?
Look at yourself as more sacred.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any woman who is willing to do that, why are you around her? We have to stop this whole thing. Well, I'll sleep with him, but I won't wife him. No, stop that. Yeah. Stop that. Because the minute that you give your sexual energy to her, the minute you spend any money on her, you're saying that I agree with what you're doing. Yeah. So I think for men, they need to be more stingy with themselves, more picky, value themselves more. You're the biggest resource and asset as a man. Why you're giving yourself to any woman who would even remotely talk to you that way?
Yeah.
Men need to learn how to get out and walk away when they're not being respected properly.
Yeah.
And they have to stop being slaves to themselves sexually. Any woman who would use that against you or throw something in your face should not be getting your presence.
Yeah.
So men got to learn how to say no. Too many men, they just... Any woman that's willing to sleep with them, they're there. Yeah. Even if she really putting a spell on you every time you're around her. She really putting a spell of self-doubt and self-destructing in you. Yeah. But you think you're still a G by being there because you sleeping with her, though.
Yeah.
No.
Just say no, huh?
Just say no.
Wow.
Just say no.
Sexual discipline, right? Got OnlyFans, you got Instagram, you got Twitter. Everything's on there. Every type of girl, all of that. How do you try to practice better sexual discipline, would you say, as a young man?
Just, it should disgust you. Men need to be more selfish. You shouldn't be turned on by nothing you got to share. I think once a man get to that point, I think that it gets better. As long as you're still, in that mindset where you're satisfied with trains and sharing and swapping, I mean, there's no hope for you. You have to get to that place as a man where you're appalled at the idea of sharing in that aspect. Yeah. But as long as they're okay with sharing, they'll continue to be turned on by, the art of the culture of the pass around sharing type of culture.
I feel it. I gotta ask you this too, Six, since we got you in the building. Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, how do you feel about that whole relationship dynamic, and do you feel like that sets a bad precedent for other couples?
Yeah, I think that Jada is the example of a woman who is in her farthest degree of rebellion. In my opinion, I think that being with someone like Will Smith, and it's no secret that he, dabbles in all kinds of people, if you know what I mean.
I'm catching you, just.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that women try to be with certain men on some, well, he could do what he want long as he come home to me. Yeah. I think Jada didn't want to be married in the first place. That's the first where it goes left is, once again, women getting married super young before they even know who they are, with mothers on drugs with no guidance. It goes back to that. Yeah. I don't think she was even in the mindset, first of all, to want to be a wife, number one. Number two, when you feel as though you're not enough for, because if you remember, Jada in the beginning was not like this. Yeah. This has been, I want to say progression, even as well as a regression, but she wasn't like that at first. Nah. I think that after years of watching your man be unfaithful, he can't stick with just you. You seeing him with males, female, allegedly.
All that resentment starts to grow over time.
Now you just want to destroy that man any way you can. And Jada, my thing is, girl, you've said out your own mouth you're not leaving. So if that's the case, stay there and be there in the best way you can. The concept of her staying there but going out of her way any chance she can to humiliate him is weird to me. It's very kind of sadistic to me. Make up your mind. If you're going to be there and play your role. But this in-between thing she's doing where she's there, yet she's going out her way to do the most embarrassing things possible, is just, she's trying to destroy. Yeah. That's what a woman look like when she's in her rebellious energy and she's trying to destroy the man in her life. Yeah. But it destroys her. In her quest to constantly destroy Will, she's really destroying herself. Yeah. Because you can't come back from sleeping with your son's friends. It's over. It's at that point, it's done.
Cross that line.
You ruined yourself. There's no coming back. Yeah. So I hate to see women try to rebel and destroy a man, because you're going to destroy yourself trying to destroy him every time.
Very last question, 6. Do you ever see the black family structure ever coming back together whole, or do you think it's just going to be like the Wild Wild West like it is right now for everyone?
I think it will in 2 more generations. Like I said, we gotta fail a little bit more. Right now, we're still able to somewhat make it. Yeah. The girls can say, forget having a husband. I can do OnlyFans, or I can have multiple men and go around and get resources from all the men. We're still in that place where people can find ways to maneuver through life without it. But I think in the next generation or 2, when all that ends and when it all get played out, when we hit rock bottom, I do think that the Black family structure will come back into place because we'll have no other way to turn, and we'll have no other place to go but up.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be in a better place once we stop having all those options, and when we get back to the only option being each other, which is how it should have been the whole time.
Come on, I love that. On the way out, where can everybody tap in with the YouTube channel, the Patreon, Instagram, all that good stuff on social media?
Yeah, so I have two different Patreons. One of them, which is the more popular one, is a women's only group. Okay, so fellas, do not come in there talk about you ain't know I want my money back. Once the money is mine, it's mine.
It's too late.
Do not. It's patreon.com/ all my social media handles is Six the Goddess. That's SIXTHEGODDIS. So patreon.com/ Six the Goddess is my women's only group.
That's what's up.
So in there I share, information about makeup, hair, fitness, homemaking, cooking. We do meetups, get-togethers. We have group chats. All the good stuff. I call it death row.
Okay.
Don't come in there if you're looking for one of them places where everyone tell you, girl, you deserve, you're doing the best you can. Don't come in there if that's what you're looking for. Okay. It's a group of women from all different walks of life that hold each other accountable.
I love that.
You're allowed to be a proud pick-me in there. You don't have to be in there talk about you don't want to deal with the men, but then you still giving fellatio the minute you walk out the hair salon to the man that you said you want stunting and that you didn't care what he wanted. So there's no cap in there. We keep it real in there. We say we want us a man. We want us a Black man. And what will you do to make that happen?
Facts.
So that's the women's only Patreon. And then I have a co-ed Patreon that is for I have a weekly live show called 6 at 6.
Yeah.
Where I do commentary on, just my own little flair on different things throughout the, throughout the week. And then you can always hit my website, sixthegoddess.com. I do one-on-one consults and mentoring. And you can also purchase my book as well. And, follow my social media channel, subscribe to my YouTube.
Facts. Six. Again, I appreciate you, man, greatly for your time, all the knowledge, dropping gems, and you're always welcome back on the platform as well.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
It was an honor. Thank you. Y'all, man, thank y'all again for always tapping in, showing love. Again, blessed be your host, Caleb Smith. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.